Okay, I am here. That one. That'll do. Uh, how's it going? My name's Dustin. There's my hand. Uh, and I'm gonna mess with a little bit of game dev stuff tonight. Not sure for how long, not sure exactly how much I'm gonna do in this sitting. Uh, as usual, I have a little document with just a couple of bullet points or whatever. I'm okay. I'm not surprised, but sorry to hear that. Considering how much stuff you've been doing, Brian, I know it's been a lot, but I'm doing okay. Like average to like slightly below average maybe, but not terrible. Just a little tired and a little a little bit of a sore throat this morning, but I'm getting through it. I'll survive. Uh, in any case, video game stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly we're gonna do on here. Yeah, man, December's been the ist month I can remember in some time. Not that November was like a real winter or anything, but I don't know. It's just been really, really all around like shrug. uh, but anyway, I set up a little thing here that actually makes it even easier to change these levels for testing than we were doing before, which is good. And I don't remember where I left off on some of these. I'm gonna just load one up and see where we get. The controller is plugged in over here, I hope. We're about to find out. But I think there's a lot of little stuff I have to fix in basically each of these boss fights. And then may or may not do some bigger things right now. I may reserve that stuff for later. So this one still has the camera broken. Yeah, I knew there was a lot of stuff. And this has that other issue that I haven't resolved yet. Alright, so let's fix the camera first. Um, anyway, how's all your stuff been? How's the family doing? Is everybody surviving with all the transitions and everything? Again, I'm sure that's part of the but hopefully you guys are slowly but surely getting through it all. I need... what? Yeah, here it is. I need you. There. Okay, that's the issue I was running into with some of these levels. That is an old camera object that is no longer used that I will probably eventually delete from the scene, but for now. Okay, so the other problem is fixed because the background moved with me. This problem is less fixed. In fact, it's not fixed at all. Oh, that freaking sucks. Yeah, I remember that kind of shit too, because we were doing the same thing when we moved in over here originally, where not for flooring specifically, but even just for like general, like, oh, is the oh yeah, and you know, right, if she's feeling sick, that's even worse too. But yeah, with us with some of that appliance stuff, it was even just making sure that like, because some of the rooms in here went through such extensive renovation at the time that was like, oh well, will all the drywall be up or whatever and ready if we have them bring this refrigerator on a certain day? I feel like some of that shit was like that, and we eventually did get it all to work out, but it's still a pain in the butt. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, all you can do is keep trying, right? Do your best personally and hope that eventually it all works out, which I'm sure it will, you know, given enough time, but it doesn't mean it sucks any less in the interim, I guess. Uh, you know what I bet? There's not a specific error happening here when I do that. When I like go into the scene and the camera screws up. I bet it's the same issue where there's probably a physical reference to one of the cameras that has to be dragged onto a thing, like I did to get the background to move again. Where it just literally had a wrong reference to the wrong physical object. Because like it is when I hit this trigger, so I'm gonna have to check out the code that does this some more. Because yeah, what it's supposed to do is reposition the camera, just move it to take in the whole scene, and obviously it's kind of not doing anything. Like it's just starting the fight, and the camera is staying in place. So let's see what else we can. Uh, Layer. Nope. Position. That's just a physical object. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a facepalm emoji in here somewhere. If not, we could create one. I think. I don't know how you do any of that shit, but I know people do it. Oh, I create custom emoji sets and stuff for their Twitch chats, but certainly couldn't hurt to have a facepalm around for all manner of reasons. But yeah, that still sucks. If you end up needing a hand physically moving any of that garbage around, at some point, let me know. Obviously, I guess if you're still kind of in a static state for right now, waiting for other shit to be resolved, that's its own problem. But yeah, it's all a big fucking mess. Get that for sure. Uh, I mean, you can make Twitch emojis like whatever you want. And like I think people usually set them up. I don't know if you could make them public by default, but usually they're for like the subscriptions and stuff. You know, where if you pledge fealty to a channel and give them a couple bucks or whatever, you can get like a chat with like my face on it, making a thumbs down or some shit like that. I don't know. Fucking internet, man. Uh, I know it's not that. That is just the collider. Unless that's just like boundaries around the whole thing in case you escape somehow. Alright, it's this one. Let's see. Probably happens. And I'm gonna have to mess with some other stuff in this script anyway at some point. Start with what I assume is the part where it affects the camera, which is most likely in here somewhere. It is targeting. I wonder if it's not passing a reference to the boss correct. Hmm. Really interesting. Maybe this is like a weird sequencing since all this does is like turn on a variable. I wonder if there's like a sequencing issue here that maybe wasn't present before or something. This might even just be for the camera movement on respawn thing, which is not a thing we do anymore. And maybe it's this. This is like a public area level that I strongly suspect is not actually assigned. So that's probably a thing I'll have to either assign manually or... check that in this. Yeah, so that's got that anchor point. Nothing. Okay, so I'm going to change this around a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is I think I might be reusing some of this in some of the other levels. It's not necessarily going to just pertain to this one anyway, potentially. So let's just do, let's make that private. Let's change the name of that variable a little bit. And, this, I guess I'll leave for right now just in case. I'll probably have to readdress this at some point. But for the moment, I'm going to leave that. And in here, where can I move it to, presumably? Okay. That. And this I need to change. This is the part for... Actually, I need to change this too. I need to make this inherit from this other thing. So... I need to consolidate these scripts a little. This one with yeah, that was... I remember this now. I remember where roughly I left off the last time I looked at this stuff specifically. So, yeah, there's base. The reason I did that was things. That's fair. Yeah, it's been not the most code I've seen in that amount of time, but it's like I haven't looked at this stuff specifically until like last week or so, and I started looking at this boss fight stuff in like quite a while. Um, Certainly been a long time. Well, it's sort of been the first time ever that I've looked at any of this code specifically because I never worked on this part of the game before. This was all Lorraine stuff, so a lot of this is just straight up fresh. Player, this is probably irrelevant. Yep, that stuff will still have to happen. And might. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and. I don't know. Gosh darn it. I think these are all attached to objects directly now. It does actually work a little different. This ends up with a coroutine. Whereas these are basically like all here that does something. Although I guess I could yeah, I can probably still just do it there. And in case the order matters, maybe even just move that down. Yeah, part of this was just consolidating all this stuff into one script because Lorraine had ended up spitting these out to do slightly different things for the different levels. So let's do that. Let's already created this. Do everything that's in here. We'll go nope. If that exists, we'll do this thing. Then it's fine. Oh, this exists. That'll probably just be deleted at some point. That just right now. Okay. Now that gives us the option to do either or just by setting this variable, or at least it should by the time I'm done with this. Shut up. Oh, it's because and the fact that I'm gonna not, I'll change that name at least, and then do that? No, it's fine. Fuck it. Just comment that out for now, because I don't think it's gonna matter. I'm pretty sure the script isn't gonna be used by the time all is said and done here. This one still will be. Let's go back over here and compare again. Boss health and boss object. Fine, because that's going to be added here. We'll need that. It's basically taking the place of this. Since I built a base class for all the bosses to the boss scripts to derive from. So that's good. First time and level started, I'm assuming, are like equivalent. That like Lorraine must have probably just named one thing and one another thing in a different spot. In fact, yeah, first time isn't even really used here anymore. Because that used to be for when you could die within the fight and still exist in the same level. We're not really doing that anymore. So I commented out here. I'm going to comment that out here. I'm just going to get rid of it, honestly. This is mad about. Pretty sure that'll be just fine. Though maybe I want to leave it because that is a good prevention technique. I don't think it'd be possible in the vast majority of cases to ever like re-enter this trigger or whatever. But it is kind of a good insurance policy for that, so it just doesn't do this shit again accidentally if you were to like weave physically just right between the locations. So instead, I'll just remove this old code. It's fine. All right, we'll leave you, and then I'll double check to make sure that like level started appears to do the exact same thing in here. So that's fine. Instantiation is still the same. The quirk thing is good because that's got to happen now. It plays the music. It's got that play music function that we already have copied. Okay. I think this should be fine. I think we're all set here. For this to be functionally equivalent to this script that we're about to replace and eventually delete. What did I do? What did I do when I commented up here? Okay. Go back over here. Oh, and I need to find, not that object specifically. Is that the script that's referenced here? Yeah, garbage disposal main controller. So this is the one that I have to straight up, I have to make inherit from this. So see, this boss fight was more complicated, so I'm very proud of Lorraine for she did do a lot more object-oriented nonsense and inheritance in here. The fact that it's more complicated is going to make it more complicated to modify too, which is fine. But I might just throw caution to the winds and just update this and see what the fuck happens, because there's definitely gonna be some stuff that collides. Probably not a ton though. Maybe even just this, the weapon drop stuff. Yeah, fuck it. seat of my pants here. This for now. Gosh darn it. And that other, this script. All right. Fact. Yeah, this might be fine for now. I guess we'll find only one way to find out. All right, we're just gonna roll with it for the moment. Yeah, because this stuff is all new. So this one didn't have a weapon drop before, which I think is accurate. Because if this is the last one, it probably won't be drop weapon. But we'll see. I'm gonna roll with it anyway. These all still have to be assigned something, or it's gonna air out when I finish the fight. Pole. It's called pole, not bar. Okay. I'm just gonna borrow one of these for now. I'll fix that later. Fix that later separately. Or you know what? Let's just delete that. I'll fix it now. I fix tomorrow what you can something today. Okay. That should be fine. Something hamburger, exactly. Okay. Just running through my brain. Because the other thing we need here, between these. Yes, I need that to set that. I think its attack area has the script attached. And boss room area. Oh, it's not. Oh shit! I attached it to the wrong thing. All right, because I'm stupid. Right. Unlock that. There we go. And then it just needs these other. Does that work? Oh. It does highlight it in the inspector. This should work. There we go. References to both of those. The cork's probably not in the scene yet. I'll have to add that. And then camera. Target should be. Yes, and it's this. Oh, screwed it up. I lock those objects sometimes, and that's okay. Okay, and then I do physically need to position this object where it has to go. Camera layering garbage, it won't show me correctly. It's kind of be dialing this in, and then I'll get a little more precise in a hot second. Okay. That's good enough for now. That's most of the things that need to be done here. This is the last thing. Start the boss fight. Last thing that'll have to happen over here. And actually what I'm gonna do here is let's go. Yeah, that's on the main controller, this thing. And I think, if I'm not stupid, oh, just kidding, I'm sort of stupid. And I wonder where I put the, hold on, let's go back to here. Okay, I just didn't scroll to the right spot. That is what I thought that was. Okay, so this is perfect. This is virtual, so we're just gonna somewhat clumsily. Right up here, I'm gonna leave this exactly as is. Care about this because we're. Nope, not. Because I'm typing it wrong, because I'm stupid. There. Only took me 6 tries. So there's that. And then from here, the script is going to no longer exist. But we're going to steal this line of it. Do that here instead. I don't need this. It's just here. It's in the script already. Okay. Because that's already being called from this. The basic version of this is being called from here because it's part of the base script of all the boss controllers now. Okay, perfect. I think, maybe. All right. I'm gonna save the scene and see how it looks when we load it up. Anything could happen. Come back here, please, controller. All right. This appears to mostly be working. And damage him. Can definitely damage us. See what happens if I win this fight. Or lose it, because I'm about to lose it too. Okay. I'm actually... I have 0 health there? Although that might not even be... Yeah, the boss fight thing did go away. I'll get to that in a second. One extremely low-hanging fruit thing I do want to fix is... Yeah, I do want to adjust the positioning of everything in here a little bit. And in fact, I think the way Lorena set this up where the camera moves in the update, I just grab this thing, move it up by... Right now I'm just going nuts. See where that puts it. Yeah, okay. That's not quite what I'm looking for. How about... No. Closer. That's pretty close. Man. Okay. That should be fine. Put that number in my pocket for a second. And then subsequently, I bet it'll be way less reasonable if I try to do this live, but fuck it. Just doing this to see how it looks. This is going to be a big part of what I change in here, honestly. Is it like sort of functions? Although it, yeah, that like those aren't working correctly now. Guess those were not physically attached to his person. Okay. So that part I have to fix. Basically all of that, because I am going to shuffle him around in there. But, oh, now I've really screwed things up. Yeah. Moving him into this scene has done me no favors. Oh, that's wild. That's, I'm going to have to look at the colliders for this thing. I don't, because it's got like a, it's got collision up here. Like around the lip. That's really something. Okay, I'll check into that. And kind of down here too, sort of. Interesting. That's very strange. The other thing we can do is we can set the zoom to I'm just gonna, for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna go back into that scene first. Not the need of this. That's what I'm messing with right now. I'm gonna see how this looks. Because there is a zoom factor on the camera that is basically that will functionally make the whole scene look a little smaller, which I'm fine with. Let me finish typing. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and set this. Rather, we'll set the camera. Right in here, that's fine. What up? I have that script open anymore? It doesn't look like I do. Anatomy for the other time. Well, that might be the only place. And here to see what we have access to. This script to you. Oh, so this is kind of interesting. These are already set here. I'm not even sure if this code is still being called. It's possible, or this might have been like deprecated long ago and I just didn't delete it. But this is happening right here. That is. Just being called here, which I'm going to copy this for right now, although I might make that just like a more central part of this script. For the moment. But it was Zoom, but it's not quite named. Edit in the scene. Oh, it is size, I believe. Is that I think those other values that Lorraine had set up were graphics. Okay. And then we can actually oh, I didn't build that, I don't think. This I should be able to straight up remove. If we go over to the game view here, we can see what the camera sees right now. Nothing great. None of this is ever. Fuck it. Let's just we'll set this to something about 8, whatever. So instead of moving the position, let's put the camera in position and then change the value. The zoom value, not the positional value. So what is it set at right now? Did it even take? Did it set it to 8? It totally did. All right, that's good. So what if we do, like, let's just go crazy. What's 18 look like? 18 is way too much. And for sake of argument, 4 looks something like that. Yeah, that's obviously not gonna play. How about like 12? That's still a bit much. Yeah, quite a bit much. I don't hate 10. And in fact, if I did adjust, this is where we can also adjust the camera position as well. Though it did not. Yeah, the thing here that sucks that I'm definitely gonna have to address if we do it this way. This might be because of code that I've broken since taking some of this over from Lorraine, is that it didn't affect the HUD at all, and I feel like at some point it totally did do that, like it accounted for it. So I might have to look at some of the other code she's made already and see if I can reappropriate some of that, because I don't care, like, the rest of the scene is fine, but the HUD elements should reposition and resize themselves roughly equivalent to a change in the camera zoom, if we're going to use that as a tool in here. But otherwise, like, this is okay. It's not terrible. I do kind of like the idea of her appearing like really small in some of the boss fights. I think there's something to that. Like, I think it's kind of fun in its own way of, like, just reemphasize that she's very tiny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just, like, give myself, like, take a couple 15 or 20 minutes and give myself, like, some shower thought time to contemplate where I want to go with this. But this is at least a totally viable solution to this problem, and it was a thing I had been considering anyway. Just mess around with a few other settings, like a few other values here, just for funsies. Oh, I think I died. 9 isn't bad, especially since I could reposition the we don't need all the space under him. Like, he could lose a little bit of that lip, as long as his little, like, digital eyeballs are kind of still in view. Everything else that's really important is already here. The 9's looking kind of good for that, and like I said, I'll address the HUD stuff in one at some point if we stick with this. But that said, that just still means that this value can change. I'm assuming this is going to be. No, yeah, in fact, that's the opposite direction that I wanted that to move. No. Oh, it's because it's still being attracted to this, so I actually have to change this. I want to change that value. Oh, and in fact, that's the wrong thing too. I clicked on the wrong thing. It's this. All right. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. But I think for the moment, stick with just put these into the canon of the level as it exists right now, and then we'll stick with them for the moment, and then we'll go back. But physically right now, this is a 9, right? Okay, so it's 9 in that order. Copied. Nine and anchor there. The other thing we'll have to remember to do. Okay, that's mostly fine. If nothing else, I might set up a It's like the movement is probably okay. Like I don't mind that so much. The zoom is a little harsh. Like maybe I'd set up something that does that like slightly more gradually, or maybe not. Like it's at the end of the day, it's probably not worth navel gazing over too hard. But the end result of like the composition of the scene is mostly okay. Then I just have to figure out I want to address the HUD stuff to compensate. And make another note over here. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I think I just need to decompile a little bit, but this is like that example is fine. I think in general we'll probably stick with the solution, and then I'll figure out stuff around it to make it work, the way we sort of ultimately need it to at the end of the day. But the composition of this scene is mostly fine for right now. Like in general, the physical layout of things is like largely all right, so I'm gonna stick with it for the moment. This issue I'll still address. Maybe later on tonight, maybe tomorrow afternoon. I'm not going to worry about it right this second, but in any case, I think I might just call it for the moment. Go take a knee, maybe go chill out on the couch a little bit, and I don't know, address this headache a tad, but in any case, thank you for hanging out and watching me do code things or whatever. Brian, I hope your stuff continues to go like slightly better as the days go on. Again, let me know if you need anything. I'll be around. And I think with that, we're going to call it an evening. Need to click back over to here. So yeah, you chill out too. Go. Anybody who's out there, Brian, anybody else, go take a knee this evening, take a load off, get some rest, and that I will see you later. See you next time, Internet. So long, y'all.